What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Investing Bros. It is Saturday morning, and we're about to have a fantastic show, and I did that on purpose, so you heard the smack. This is going to be great. I'm going to let you guys in a little secret. We were going the route of altcoins today, so we're going to be talking about altcoins. If you guys joined in probably 10, 15 minutes ago, the title had a lot more to do with Cardano, altcoins. You know, we went down even further last night. Should you be selling? Is this the beginning of the end for the altcoin season? We were going to talk a lot about that, right? And we're still going to talk about that. But about 10 minutes before going live, we uncovered some breaking news, as the title now suggests. And this is weird, guys. We're going to have to speculate on this a little bit because it's hard to tell. It's so new. It's hard to know if it's true or not. But it is looking like Satoshi Nakamoto, or a wallet associated with Satoshi Nakamoto, just moved a little over $1 million worth of Bitcoin. Now, that's not really that significant amount of money for Satoshi Nakamoto. What's significant is we've not seen these wallets move in a very long time. And there is a chance that this whole situation could help to identify who all Satoshi Nakamoto is. We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But we got a great show lined up for you guys today. Go ahead, if you're already a subscriber, hit that like button. Let's get more people in here on this Saturday morning show. I have not gotten to do one of these in a little minute, so I'm loving being here. Love seeing the people here. Crypto Archie in the house. Love seeing here. Ada Ace says, Tim, we need to get together and do a Cardano CNT show. Let's do it. Let's do it, Ada Ace. I'd love to have that. Elo Brown is here this morning. Not going to be able to read everyone's name. Crimson Caravan Company. I got to talk to this man. This man is out here making 700% trades in a week. What is he doing? We got to talk to Crimson Caravan Company and find out all of his little cues for the markets. But I am also joined this morning by my co-host, Mr. T. Shroom from down there in Gainesville, Florida. T. Shroom, how are you feeling this morning?
Oh, Tim, despite what a lot of people are thinking, what you're seeing probably all over X, I am doing better than I deserve. So, you know, that the haters are going to hate, Tim. That's what, if I've learned anything in my tenure here on YouTube, it's that the haters are gonna hate. But I do have a good quote of the day for us. It's amazing the amount of news that happens in the world every day always just exactly fits on the newspaper. That's from Jerry Seinfeld. Of course, if you were born before a certain date, you may not even know what a newspaper is. Tim, do you think that there's people who've never read a newspaper?
I mean, babies. Brody has never read a newspaper, for sure. I would imagine most people in our audience, according to our YouTube analytics, have read a newspaper.
Okay.
I'm going to go on a limb here. Put a 87 in chat. I'm going to get weird here. A lot of times we say 1, but I'm being specific. Put an 87 in chat if you have no idea what a newspaper is.
1987 was the first year that they had newspapers, so there you go.
That's not true whatsoever. If that was the factoid of the day, that would be a wrong. So let's get in here. Before we jump in and do charts, T-Shroom, let's just go ahead. Crypto Archie. Okay, just to be honest with you guys, Crypto Archie might be one of the few people who might have had a case for never reading a newspaper. I think most other people have read newspapers, but Archie might be he might be too young, and that just tells you how great Archie is. That he's young enough to possibly have never read a newspaper and is one of the top crypto minds in the game right now. I do believe Archie is gonna be doing some great things. Archie, we gotta get you on soon. We gotta go on your channel too. We gotta come over and hang out with Archie and the gang. But let's jump into this breaking news, T-shirt, and we'll get back into alts. We'll talk about TA and everything. But this is really fascinating. What did you find this morning when you texted me about 15 minutes ago? What caught your eye this morning?
Well, I saw Satoshi Nakamoto was trending on he was trending on Twitter. So, I mean, this is the headline right here. This is from a Twitter account that I'm not super familiar with, but it's not the only one that said it. But the thing is, the link that I sent Tim, anyway, just give me a second.
What'd you do to me?
Bitcoin worth over 1.1 million has been withdrawn from Binance to a wallet linked to Satoshi Nakamoto. So very interesting. You'll also see this across a couple of different accounts. But right off the bat, Tim, is this generally good or bad? When you heard that, are you thinking, oh, price go up or price go down? What do you think here?
Well, anytime you see money go off, let's do this. Let's pretend Satoshi Nakamoto is not an important person other than a whale. You know, this is a big holder of Bitcoin. When you see money flow off of an exchange and be put into a private wallet, that is the thought process of someone who's saying price is about to go up. I'm not even considering selling. I'm moving this money into a cold wallet, right? But the biggest news here, I don't even think has anything to do with price. It has to do with who the heck is Satoshi Nakamoto, and could this information help us find out more of that detail?
Yeah. And you might be thinking, oh, this is mind-blowing, this is crazy, Satoshi's alive, Satoshi's kicking around. The thing is that anybody can send money to any address if you know what the address is. I could send, money to Tim's crypto address if he told me what it was. So people send money to Satoshi Nakamoto all the time, right? It's just never this much money. So that's what's important. Yeah. And because this is a lot of money to lose. This is probably not an accident. The 100 $1,100,000 worth of money. I mean, I don't think there's very few people who would afford to lose that. So my guess is that this is probably a co-opted move by a group of people, group of crypto folks who, probably around in the neighborhood of maybe 5 to 50 individuals, where if they were to pool their money, it would probably only amount to maybe $1,000 or $5,000, where you could easily afford to lose that for a laugh or for an angle on some kind of story that's going to be able to propel, your price higher, or, short something. So, but it is very interesting. It's very big news. There's not a whole lot of information outside of what we've just shown you, but here's, Crypto Rover, a lot more credible X account than whatever this is. I'm sure they're a great group, whale.guru. They're kind of copying off some pretty obvious X accounts there with that title, but Crypto Rover, kind of known to be a lot more trustworthy, also covering this. And you can see this is a screenshot of the transaction. So it happened last night. Would have been pretty crazy. 26.9 Bitcoin. So it's crazy, man. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it.
I wish that if it wasn't Satoshi that moved it, they should have moved it into my wallet. I would have preferred that, other than just trying to oust it. Dave Digital, again, we're processing this information as it comes in. So it's not like this news broke a long time ago, and T-Shroom and I have begun to wrap our brains around every mean that this could have. But Dave Digital says sending money to Satoshi is a great way, all caps, to make it look like he's active to dump, all caps, the market. Interesting. Maybe. So I guess what you're saying, Dave, is it's kind of like hey, let's make it look like Satoshi's active and doing something that's really bullish to make everybody else bullish to then have the exit liquidity for a big dump. That'd be a brave tactic. I don't think that that's what is happening here, but I could understand the logic of that move. Now, Interestingly, it's not like anything's going crazy right now, but Bitcoin is slightly up on this news. It was already kind of moving up, but ever since we had this news, we are up, and we're actually working to break through more resistance. We'll get there in the technical analysis section. But T-Shroom, any more we have on this?
Well,
I'm sure we'll have to keep circling back throughout the show. But any more you found today?
It's migrated off of X. It's not just circulating on X. You today looks like it was the first to pick it up according to this Google search.
6 hours ago.
6 hours ago. Crypto Rover. This tweet was from 3 a.m. So this happened.
Okay, so this is a little bit older. It's just breaking to us.
It happened in the wee hours of the night. Bitcoin. So Blockworks is picking it up. That's a bigger website. Cointelegraph, obviously the biggest and most reliable crypto website out there. Hence the sarcasm. CoinGape. But these are the websites that are trying to get it first. Try to get it to you first. That's their big, value proposition. So. Sometimes that gets Cointelegraph into a little bit of trouble.
Well, let's close up this conversation. T-Shroom, what is your takeaway from this? What are you excited? Is this nothing? Is this bullish? Is this bearish? What is the T-Shroom take on this news?
I think this is a moment in history where there's going to be a lot of excitement around who's Satoshi. People are going to be talking about it. But ultimately, if you look at the facts, this does absolutely nothing to give us any evidence or any information about who he is, if he's still alive. Because like I said, you can send any amount of money to that, any amount of Bitcoin to that wallet, right? You can send ordinals, you can send anything you want to that wallet, and it could look like he's alive. But the reality is that he's probably not. And this event says nothing to the contrary.
All that we've learned. Wait. You just said this means that he's not alive. So we think Satoshi's dead.
I think
Satoshi's
dead.
Is that the T-Shroom take?
Yeah,
I think he's dead.
I think that's the consensus, is that he's dead. Yeah,
that's not the consensus I came to. I thought he's just an anonymous figure.
I don't think
or
I don't think one person can come to a consensus.
All right. Well, okay. First of all,
that's a conclusion. You can come to.
It might not be a very compelling consensus.
All of your brain cells agree.
Exactly. Multiple. Put a poll. I think you're signed in at the moment to the Investing Bros account. Put in a poll.
Oh, you're gonna get demolished on this poll.
Do we believe? Oh my goodness. Well, here's the thing, though. I have a feeling that sometimes if we do these polls, people just go against me. So
I'll run the poll.
Listen, guys. Do not vote on this poll based off of if you want. Don't vote on this poll based off of if you want to support T-Shroom's idea or Tim's idea. I want you guys to put your general belief. Is Satoshi Nakamoto dead or alive? What do you believe? I'm in the alive camp. I believe he is alive. And I'm not because of this breaking news. I think that he was alive before this breaking news. But let me know what you guys think. There's a poll. I see some people saying, I agree. Is Satoshi alive? Answer yes, in case you guys are looking for the right answer to the test. Let's talk about some technical analysis because Bitcoin is pumping. Whether this has to do with Satoshi or whether this just has to do with we broke out of an...
real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you asked me a question and then you just jumped on top of the answer, and now we have a poll, which is great. But the information that we do have is there is a person or a group of people who do have the funds, the liquidity, the disposable capital to be able to send money to Satoshi's wallet for what reason we don't know. Is it a bearish, a bullish, or is it potentially just a meme? Right. I think at this point, my bet is that it's actually bullish. I think it's kind of like it's firing off kind of like a flare. Like this is the moment we're headed into the big bull market. It's kind of an excitement, like a firework almost. That's the kind of the way that I see it. Tim, why don't we go ahead and get right on into the charts?
Well, and we did find something we agreed there. I think you and I both agree this is bullish, and we're finding out right now it's pretty split. 50-50 with 38 votes. We need more votes. We have 160 people watching.
Get in there and vote, guys.
Votes. Get in there, vote. We need to know who believes is Satoshi alive or not. But I guess this is my answer because my next question that we might need to do a poll after once we get 100 votes, we need to do a new poll. We need a new poll to find out what people believe. Do you believe, T-Shroom, that Satoshi Nakamoto was one person or many people?
I think. Oh, okay. So I think it was one person. I think it was probably someone who.
Goodness. Okay.
Well, this is going to be another 3-minute combo. You ready for this? At least 3 minutes.
Hopefully not full 3 minutes, but yeah, you know what? We're this far deep. Let's just go ahead and get this combo out of the way. We're gonna run. By the way, guys, show's probably not going to end at noon today. We're probably running a little long because there's a lot to talk about here, and I'm interested to find out why T-Shroom's wrong on this issue again.
I can't remember who it was, but I was reading a long thread from a Twitter account, and essentially what it was saying was it was showing evidence that the NSA had developed similar encryption technologies to and it was, and again, I'm not a cryptologist, I don't know all the specifics of this, but they had developed a certain code that was classified, and it has come out that code is very similar to what the SHA-256 is, the protocol for Bitcoin. And so I'm not sitting here and saying one for one it's 100% true that the Bitcoin code initially was developed by the NSA as an experiment, but there does seem to be a decent amount of evidence to show that that's the case. I think what I can extrapolate to be somewhat closer to the truth is that someone in that circle working with, the government of the United States and perhaps in collaboration with other governments of sophistication that were developing encryption technologies were thinking about their use on the internet. I think that it was somebody in that circle, and I do think it was one person. I think it was somebody who didn't think the same way as those researchers, as those computer scientists and those cryptologists thought differently and said, this is, had the thought, this is either going to get out of hand, the NSA is going to abuse this eventually, or the U.S. government's going to get this and abuse it, or, I just think this is great and I want to try it out. I think it'd be cool. But obviously there's a lot of sophistication that went into Bitcoin. So it's got to be, somewhere in between those two things.
So actually, I'm before I explain why I disagree with you, I do want to say your explanation I do think was actually really good. That it started off as a group project and then one person said, let me make this better, and went and did his own thing. Great explanation. It's wrong. I think you're wrong. I think there's a group, but I think it's along the same lines. I think you might have seen a large entity working on encryption, and then a sect of people said, you know what? We can actually use this to better the world, be money, but we got to keep quiet. No one can know who we are. So we're up at 75 votes, 52% saying yes, that Satoshi's alive, 48% saying no. We're going to get to 100 votes, and once we have 100 votes, because we have 190 people watching, we're going to change the poll up. Do you believe Satoshi Nakamoto is one individual, or do you think it represents a grouping of people? I think a grouping of people. T-Shroom thinks an individual. Could be either one. We'll probably never know.
I used to think it was the U.S. government, but the actions that the government has taken, like the regulatory bodies and the banks, it kind of makes it seem like it isn't the government anymore. At least that's because that's what I thought it was. I thought it was the U.S. government, but now I think it's a group of people who were close with the early researchers, maybe even in the U.S. military that were researching encryption. You guys got to remember, for I think the first 5 to 7 years that encryption was discovered, it was classified, and the U.S. military were the only ones that were working on it, that knew anything about encryption technology. So I think it was somebody or a group of people that were close with those early computer scientists that kind of maybe spun off or never spun off. They kept working there but just remained anonymous. So that's kind of my theory. But I think that there's a good chance that everything I just said is completely wrong too. Who knows? It could just be one.
The truth is, I don't think we're ever going to actually be able to confirm or deny that one. Now, Dave Digital makes an interesting point here. He says, Tim and Taylor, a.k.a. T-Shroom, have T's in their name. So does Satoshi.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
Yeah.
We cannot confirm or deny. That would discredit T-Shroom's claim that Satoshi was one person if both Tim and T-Shroom were Satoshi. But maybe that's what he's doing. He's trying to throw you off the scent. Anyway. All right. 96 votes. It's 55% saying yes. So T-Shroom, by the skin of the hairs on my chin. I don't know. That's not even an expression. By the hair on my chin, I win this one. I mean, it's not with 3 more votes. You're not going to get enough votes. Satoshi, they do agree he's alive. Can you go ahead and change that claim that Satoshi is one person? If both, it keeps playing YouTube. Okay, you can mute that.
Change the poll to what?
Change the poll to: is Satoshi Nakamoto one person or a group of people?
Okay.
And we're going to jump on over. While you do that, we can go over to my screen. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. It was pumping here just a little bit while we were talking, cooling off here just a little bit. But I want to point your guys' eyes to a formation that is developing right here, / we have broken through now. Now, you could kind of play with this white line. We could probably move this white line up here just a little bit. All right. Maybe we're not broken out just yet. I had it here on candle body closes, but if I move it to all the wicks, we might still be in play of this symmetrical triangle. We've had a wick break down below it, actually twice now, but as a whole, this seems to be the form that we are moving in right now. A breakout for Bitcoin should be coming very, very, very soon. Which way is it going to go? At the moment, there's a couple things we're going to take a look at. And I told you guys in the intro, of course, the Satoshi news got our attention. We changed the title. We changed the thumbnail. Shout out to Kelly Kellum, who's in chat, by the way. Kelly, good to see you, man. Got to get you on here again very, very soon. For those who don't know, Kelly is my office mate here at the office, so we have a lot of fun together. But what I'm looking at right now, we're definitely trending in the right direction for a positive breakout. Let me talk to you through a couple things that I like. Here on the MACD, I like that we just crossed bullish here on the hourly chart, and we're now setting up some green histograms. Even though the trend of the MACD is for sure moving to the downside, that is a positive thing we're looking for as we go into a breakout. RSI, it's starting to trend a little sideways here now as we're slowing down, but moving back to the upside. You like to see that. Our LUX Algo oscillator, there's a couple things we're seeing here that are bullish. First of all, when we kind of hit this bottom, we did get this little green dot flash, kind of reversal dot. We're moving up with green momentum. Now, I talked a little about this yesterday live show. What we're really looking for significant movement, this little green trend assistant, I'd like to see the money flow start to move back up. You will see it slightly moving back to the upside here on the hourly, but it's not anywhere close. And we no longer have an exuberance or exceeding number of buyers right now. So we're sitting in a spot right now on Bitcoin where it's like, hey, we're seeing the signs come in that we're positive here on the hourly chart, but not necessarily overwhelming positivity. We're still waiting for the actual breakout. The market is kind of not deciding what it wants. Now, we do have an order block sitting right above us. Of course, something we talked about yesterday, we still are seeing stronger support levels below us, even though it's all the way down here at 40,600. We're still seeing those stronger levels than up here. Let's go on to a really short time frame. Let's see what the 5-minute is saying here with these levels. What's the most recent trend? The support level here is actually low. We have a weak support level all the way down here at 43. Now, that's not the nail in the coffin. We're so far away from them. We're hovering here right at / above the equilibrium. But keep an eye on if we break out a potential move up to 44.3 could start. We could see a little bit of delay right in there in that camp. But for right now, things are moving in the right direction. We're heading back up towards resistance. Breakout could be coming here very, very soon. Or, we could just continue to trade kind of in here sideways. We hit our point here. We have to kind of make a decision by today, by 7 p.m., right? So we should be seeing a decent size move to the upside or downside within the next 12 to 24 hours would be the best case. All right, let's see. I got to put on my own poll. Who is Satoshi? It is a group of people. Overwhelmingly 63% at the moment with 64 votes. T-Shirt, it's not looking like you're going to win either of the polls this morning. Sorry to be you. Let's take a look here. Is there anything else we want to take a look at? Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart, maybe get an even longer perspective. You're going to see oscillators, all three of our oscillators sitting right here in the middle. MACD just kind of running side by side, technically moving slightly to the upside here on the 4-hour. RSI slightly above that 50. The LUX Algo, we just got a green momentum, but you're going to see money flow. Money flow is actually coming in here on the 4-hour. It's actually kind of boosting to the upside. So that's a positive thing. Another reason to be positive. But again, we're kind of sitting in a decision point. It is still anyone's game. You got to continue to wait to see what happens there. I'm going to put my money, though, on, I think, to the upside. Let's talk about altcoins, though, because, again, this is where we were originally planning to spend our time. And I want to start off with possibly the best. Let's read through that. Not the best. I want to apologize to every other altcoin out there for saying this. One of the favorite altcoins, not only of this channel, but of the large crypto community as a whole, that would be Cardano. Now, one of the reasons why Cardano is so special is because it is one of the last truly, in my opinion, decentralized cryptos out there. That's going to cause a lot of people to love it. That's going to cause other people to say, I kind of want to stay away from Cardano. And it doesn't even not make sense, right? With this bull market more than likely being one where institutional money is the real main player, there's not really an incentive for that money to flow into Cardano, right? So I want to start off by saying this because I started by saying the best. Then I wanted to rephrase that to like one of the favorites. There are a lot of people who love Cardano, a lot of people that hate Cardano. I am in the camp of love. I follow it daily. You guys know it. And I'm watching some stuff happen here that I want to bring to your guys' attention. And, you guys know I have been bullish on Cardano here for a while. Even yesterday, talking very heavily about I thought a breakout would be coming yesterday. Well, guess what, guys? I told you. I tell you when I'm wrong. I tell you when I'm right. I was wrong. We did not end up finding our support back up here at 52. Let's see. We bounced about 52 cents, 0.3 cents. We moved even lower, right? We actually ended up, this move right here, this bottom level, the strong low was up here. So we reset it. I told you guys even yesterday that can happen. I didn't think it would, but it can happen. And then you're starting to see Solana kind of came in here last night, dropping all the way back down towards 91 cents. Link was dropping over here back down to 13.26. AVAX is dropping. Altcoins were dropping. The Bitcoin dominance jumping back up here, getting back above 53, coming up closer to 54%, even though most prices, even Bitcoin, were moving overwhelmingly to the downside. I told you guys a while ago, when you look at the Bitcoin dominance, one of the signs that the top will be in is going to be significant amounts of days where prices of all the cryptos are moving to the downside, including Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin dominance is starting to move to new highs, right? So technically speaking, I want to start here by laying the groundwork. We did see crypto prices falling while the dominance for Bitcoin is rising to the upside. That is a criteria that we are looking for to call the top of this bull trend and look for lower levels. So does that mean that you guys should be selling your Cardano, selling your Solana, selling your Link, selling your altcoins, at least moving into Bitcoin for a lesser fallback, if not moving it back into Tether to wait for a lower buy? I'm going to explain to you guys why I do not think that is happening just yet. Let's go back over here to Cardano. Now, I'm going to start off here on the daily chart. We're going to kind of start on a macro perspective, and we're going to zoom in here. And later on in the show, if we want to take a look at other altcoins, we can. As a whole, I want to let you guys know this Cardano chart and what I'm going to show you, you're going to see a lot of the same things on the charts happening to other altcoins. So take what I'm talking about on the Cardano chart and apply it. Go double check to make sure, but apply the same type of thoughts to your other altcoins. Starting off here with the daily chart. Now, we lost 2 different trend lines here more recently on Cardano. Let's come back over here. I keep going over to the Blowfin one. Blowfin has a very young history, so I need to make sure I'm on the Kraken one where we see Cardano way back. We have broken 2 different support levels here, even on the daily chart. The first one, of course, we had a little bit of an ascending triangle or symmetrical triangle, depending on where you wanted to put your level of resistance. You had kind of a falling level of resistance right here, or you had the flat top where we double topped here at 67, almost 68 cents. We broke below the rising level of support. That was the first level. Then I talked to you guys about, hey, guys, look out. We have a little zone here of support. We have a zone of resistance, a zone of support. Well, last night we wicked down below that zone, which was bottomed out at 52 cents. We came down and wicked all the way down below 51, touching almost 50 cents. In fact, what was the exact low here? 50.7 cents on Kraken. I believe Blowfin, for example, let's see, how far did Blowfin get down? Low was 50.66 cents. So didn't quite break below 50 cents, but we did break our level support. But I want to now bring up the oscillators and kind of show you what we are looking at. First of all, we don't really need to take a look here. Even though you're seeing the oscillators breaking low here on the daily, you even see, I mean, this isn't a positive side right here, the red trend on the LUX Algo oscillator. The money flow is now lower than that trend. I will bring to your attention, though, let's take this one down. Let's take a look at the RSI here on the daily chart. Let's take a look at the MACD here as well. Now, yes, we are super, super low here on the RSI, but I want you to take a look at where we are lower than. This point right here, this RSI higher low up here at 55 corresponded to price action that Cardano had at 37 cents. The fact is, we're actually back down towards levels that the RSI was at back when we were hovering at 24 cents. This is a massive resetting on the RSI that is bringing us back to levels we were at extremely low prices. What does this mean more than likely could happen? This is a perfect setup for some explosive bullish divergence and another major move to the upside here on the daily chart for Cardano. I believe even the weekly here, you come to the weekly chart, you see a pattern here where we actually, during rallies, we come and we get a little overextended with a pullback before we make our really explosive movement. Look at what we have back here, August of 2020. Same thing happened. We peak, had to have a little bit of a pullback, RSI reset coming back down towards the midline, and then absolutely parabolic runs to the upside. So even with these drastic pullbacks on longer time frames, you're still seeing some positivity kind of show in here. But let's kind of start dropping down here, and let's take a look back towards the 4-hour chart. Now, 4-hour chart, we're seeing some positivity here on LUX Algo. A lot of green momentum coming in here. We have green reversal dots. The RSI continues to show us bullish divergence. I told you guys we had bullish divergence yesterday. Well, guess what? We just got a 3-peat touch of bullish divergence, mostly on the hourly chart, but you're even starting to see it on the 4-hour. Let's go over here to the hourly. Take a look here. I want to let you guys know, we draw trend lines on price action. We look at trend lines on resistance. We look at trend lines on support. But you also can see trend lines on oscillators, and that is exactly what we are seeing. Look right here. We have definitely, I know it's got a little kitty wampus, so I got to kind of fix this here for a second. But we have a trend line right here where we are seeing with our RSI with higher lows of the bottoms, right? Same thing with our MACD. Our MACD coming in here, 3 touches right now, but all of them higher lows. Why am I showing you this? We're clearly in a trend right here where we found support on the RSI and the MACD. Those are the exact same touches that we are forming a support level here on the hourly chart with lower lows. Then you come in here and look at the touches on the top. What formation is this, T-Shroom?
Descending wedge.
A descending wedge, a falling wedge, both. Yeah, this descending wedge is correct. Some people call them falling wedges. But yes, this is an overwhelmingly bullish pattern mixed with a triple touch bullish divergence. Listen, guys, I like the double touch bullish divergences. Usually we bounce back up after double divergences. But when you start seeing triple touches of the same line of bullish divergence, the overwhelming bullish nature that should be coming in very, very soon is going to be overwhelming. By the way, we're going to go ahead and pause here because there are 300. We have not had this many people in a live chat in a while. welcome every single one of you. We got 300 people in here right now. If you guys are watching this TA, if you're understanding what I'm talking about, if you're excited, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more content just like this. But let's go back to my sheet because I'm not done yet. Because then we're looking at the long time frames. We're seeing a great setup for bullish divergence. We're seeing the money, even though it's starting to flow out, we're seeing the lower time frames after being massively overextended. This was, remember yesterday, I was bullish on Cardano, but there was one thing I told you guys. One thing I told you I did not like. Well, it's what kind of doomed us here. It is the hourly money flow and the overwhelming sellers in the Cardano market. I told you guys everything else looked bullish. We had the bullish divergence, we had everything, but the money flow kept going below this trend. This is a situation where even though we had some bullishness, we had some bearishness, this LUX Algo oscillator should have told me more and said, Tim, it's not time to look for the reversal just yet. But look at what we're doing now. We now have reversed back to the upside. We're not green yet, but the money that was leaving Cardano is now starting to come back in. We're back above this trend catcher. When you kind of look at this in history of other big movements like this is where the bottom, you don't have to wait for the green. Look at this. Bottom call right here back on December 18th. It happened right here. When you zoom in, the sellers had left the market. We crossed back above that trend line, and that started a nice bullish push. That's another reason right now. The one thing yesterday that kept us from being overwhelmingly bullish on Cardano is now starting to flash back bullish perspectives. This is the Cardano chart. Again, I'm telling you, I'm focusing on Cardano. I am still bullish on Cardano. I believe we took a lot. We went through and set some really strong support. We also haven't even looked at this day. You guys know liquidations are one of my favorite things to look at. Let's take a look here. You don't have to trust me on some of this unless you were watching with me. But I sat here watching this last night. Right now, technically, we have reset some liquidations down here. Theoretically speaking, you could see a push back towards 50 cents. I like the ones sitting above us. But if you were here last night watching, we just kept seeing new yellow flashes here on the 12-hour, and we got rid of all of them. Right now, we do see some liquidations below us, but not a lot. These are the people who have now bought these lows and are waiting for the rally to the upside, where we see heavier liquidity here on the 12-hour, pushing us back up towards 54 cents. But then even more so when we take a look at the 7-day, this is what should really get you excited with, very minimal liquidity down here. Heavy liquidity all the way up here at 58 cents, but you can see it keeps getting exciting and moves back up towards 70 cents is what I'm looking at here for Cardano before things really start to maybe run out. Now, you have to keep watching here. Every time we move up, there's going to be new people that enter shorts, and there's going to be new levels of liquidations for us to take exit on. What we are looking for now, we do have to wait and see, but we're waiting on this NFT news to come out more than likely sometime early next week. If it's negative, if it's something we don't want to see, then yes, we could see the bottoms give out. We could see altcoins and Bitcoin move to the downside. But if we see positive news, if we see an approval, if we see what we have been waiting now for years to see a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, it's not just going to be Bitcoin that gets relief and moves to the upside. The alts will follow as well. T-Shroom, let's kind of take a pause right there. You're chuckling, so you read something or heard something that's funny. What are your thoughts?
Well, you said NFT news. We're going to have this NFT news. And
ETF.
He meant ETF, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, NFT news? What? I'm not hearing anything about that. Wow, that's funny. That's funny. I've got a couple...
I'm sure NFTs will be made about this ETF news. That's what I was.
Yeah. You take a breath, Tim. I've got something crazy to show you guys. Boeing was just trending on Twitter for a crazy reason. I know that they've had issues in the past with the Boeing 737 Max, but it's been one of them has been temporarily grounded in its entire fleet of the aircraft. A decision came after one of the planes experienced mid-air emergencies on Friday. It's kind of crazy. If you see, like, the whole door just came off, I guess, the emergency door. But there's a video of like the door being off while they're in flight. You can see like the lights in the background there. But that's kind of loud. Sorry. You can see
the full experience, though. Yeah.
You can see like the city lights. Like if you've ever been on an airplane, you've seen. That's insane.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
That's pretty nuts. Which is crazy because I was always under the impression that if anything like pierced the membrane of an aircraft, that stuff would fly out. but maybe that's at higher altitudes. I don't know. Anyway, I'd be very careful. I don't think I'm ever going to get on a Boeing 737 MAX anytime soon. That airplane model has had so many issues, but you guys are tuned in for crypto. You're not tuned in for the aircraft malfunction.
That's pretty interesting, though. Pretty interesting.
Very
scary. So as we kind of transition here, is the elf working Saturdays now? Do we have a factoid coming today?
Tim, the elf is absolutely working on Saturdays, and today the factoid of the day is brought to you by Blowfin. If you're looking to get into leverage trading here in the United States, Blowfin is going to be your exchange. We've got a link for him down in the description. Tim, what team?
What I was going to say, T-shirt, real quick, before we do that, because we have to make an announcement first before we get into this factoid. I wasn't clear about what I was trying to get. That's very smooth,
Tim.
Yeah, this has been the greatest transition of all time, I would say. I want to make sure you guys know this because this is really cool. Again, I would say this is probably the second highest concurrent we've had on live streams. I could be wrong, T-shirt. Could be wrong. But I love that everyone is in here. Love that you guys are here, a part of it. T-Shroom and I, we have goals. We're going to be growing this channel. This year is going to be very bullish for crypto holders. Yeah. It's going to be very bullish for this channel, for many other channels. But here's what we're going to start doing. Guys, we crossed over 6,800 subscribers last night.
Yep.
That's because you guys are freaking awesome. Love having you guys here. From here on out, every single time that we set a new 1,000 subscriber goal, so we're about a little less than 200 away from hitting 7,000 subscribers. We're going to start giving away $100 to one lucky subscriber.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is you guys got to be watching the show every single day because we will announce when we hit it, and then you will have 24 hours to leave a comment on that live stream to do the things that we tell you to do. You have to comment the way we're going to tell you to comment. So that means you had to have watched the show. You have to do the things we tell you to do, and you could win $100 every single time we get 1,000 subscribers. We're very, very close. Tell your friends, your grandmothers, your sisters, and their pugs to subscribe to the channel if their Dobermans do not have them subscribed.
And right now, the rate of reaching 1,000, we're getting about 1,000 subscribers a month. So, every month and a couple of days, you'll definitely be eligible. We'll be doing a $100 giveaway. So it's going to be in dollars. If you want to accept it through crypto, we'll probably be able to make that accommodation. But we're very excited. Yeah. We've had a lot of success, and it's all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much. Yeah. And if you're just watching for the first time, this is you're coming into a really cool, very honest, very legit crypto community that I love to be a part of.
Yes. No, the Bros community, we say this a lot. It's bigger than just me and T-Shroom. You guys all who are here and subscribed, you guys are part of the Bros. Other thing I'll say, and we're about to get the factoid of the day, there's some big changes coming more than likely to our memberships and to our Discord to continue to have that community grow and grow and grow. We're going to be having a meeting on Monday, I believe. I'm going to try to send that out today. Monday, all of our gold members, you guys know who you are. Make sure you meet. We're going to try to meet probably sometime probably in the evening, honestly, probably Monday night to try to get as many of you guys in as possible because we have a big update. T-Shroom and I want to announce to you guys first and get your opinions. And then if that is going well, we're going to be announcing that on Tuesday. So look forward to that. With that said, that's a big announcement. Thank you to all of you guys who are here. Let's get this factoid of the day, one of our traditions on every single live show, and then we'll jump back into some news and some Q&A for the show.
Yeah, let's get to the factor of the day, brought to you by Blowfin, one of the greatest leverage trading exchanges in the United States. What team is the latest addition to the MLB? Is it A, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Toronto Blue Jays, or the San Diego Padres? Tim, what do you think?
I want to say it's the Rays. The Diamondbacks, I think, have been around for a while. So are the Blue Jays. I think the Padres have as well. I feel like those are all older programs. I know the Rays are not an extremely old program. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Locking it in. Very good. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, the factoid is brought to you by...
Did you know that they have not always been the Rays? Do you know what their name was before they were the Rays?
No, I don't.
The Devil Rays.
Devil Rays. Wow.
And then that caught some backlash, and they changed it. I don't know if it was backlash as much. It was just they're just like, yeah, let's just go with Rays.
It's cultural appropriation of the devil. So,
maybe
the big devil lobby.
All right.
had something to say about it. We got some news here. Incredibly bullish article on Bitcoin came out in the Financial Times, which is very big, kind of mainstream, kind of higher brow, kind of like The Economist, but perhaps the most authoritative financial news publication in the UK. There you go. That's a great explanation of it. The author pushed back on a lot of the FUD and giving his reasons for buying into the Bitcoin ETF when it is eventually launched, which is risk, volatility, no income, hard to value, speculate, intangible. And the author here said, Stuart Kirk said, "My New Year's resolution is Bitcoin. Yes, I know the dangers, but I'm having some anyways. I'm having some anyways." That's an interesting way to put it.
That's a weird, weird expression. That's like calling ETFs NFTs. What a dummy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's like
he doesn't even have any hair.
It's like he's having some anyways, like Bitcoin's a cake or something. It's a slice of cake. Doesn't have any hair. Yeah. Who can't grow hair? Come on. All right. This one's a little bit more bearish though. This company here, I guess, some kind of analytics firm, Better Markets, who's apparently a close advisor to Gary Gensler, is trying to tip the scales, writing a letter yesterday on January 5th saying, the SEC must follow the law and reject spot Bitcoin ETPs. I don't know why they would put that.
Everyone knows it's NFT.
Yeah. Nice.
Bitcoin NFTs.
Which
Bitcoin
will
NFTs.
inflict massive investor
I'm
harm.
done.
So obviously not going to, I did read this yesterday. They're making like it's a very arrogantly worded letter. It's like, there's nobody, it'd be extremely unreasonable to pass this and make a change in this laws. First of all, I don't know.
Could you imagine who their number one political affiliation is?
Probably Elizabeth Warren.
Then you would have gotten the factoid correct, because this is the company that Elizabeth Warren has been working a lot with on a lot of her bills. What's really scary, though, here's what I'll say. And I don't know if you're going to get here and I'm bursting your bubble. But somebody that works for this company, like Gary Gensler, is like good friends with people at this company.
Yeah.
So that's not good. That's not good. I still think it's gonna not do anything. I still think we're seeing NFTs approved, but this is something that's like, if we see NFTs why am I saying NFTs? Gosh darn it, ETFs. If we see the ETFs get denied, this probably is going to be what would do it. Like Gary's like, finally I have supporters to give me an excuse. Like, Judge, it's not me. Like, they make a good case. This could be really bad for all of the investors, and I don't want to hurt them. That's my job. And then he gets to blame them, and they get the lawsuit from these ETF filings. What do you think, Tishman?
It's pretty radical. I mean, I think if you disagree with this, you can give them a call. They've got a media request line. Give them a call, send them an email. Be respectful and don't tell them that we sent you. But you can have a little bit of fun maybe on your weekend here.
I mean, or maybe have more fun and tell them that we sent you. That's one way to grow the channel.
I wouldn't do that.
Let's flood the emails and phone calls with saying, "Hey, I'm such and so from Investing Bros," and just act like you're one of the Investing Bros. Let's start a thing that people think the Investing Bros have, like
I think that's
500 employees.
Terrible idea, Tim, because that could backfire pretty easily. All right, moving on to the next story. We can talk about it after the stream. That's all right. You're not considering all the risks, but that's all right. Let's move on in here. U.S. SEC seeks to leverage Terraform win in Coinbase Binance disputes. So we're seeing red across the screen on the crypto watch lists because I think mostly, Bitcoin's just kind of trading sideways. Today's just a down day, right? We had a big, kind of a bigger up day on Thursday and Friday. But there are some actual bearish stories out there. All the stories that we bring you guys, by the way, are heavily vetted. There's probably 30 to 100 stories that I kind of skim through every single day here on the Investing Bros before I bring them to you. Today, there was only really only 2 stories. I brought you a couple tweets, and that Boeing story kind of dismantles my whole argument here. But anyway, I'm going to summarize this one for you guys. Essentially, Terraform, we brought it to you, I think it was early last week. There was a loss for crypto in a sense because Terraform Labs lost to the SEC in a lawsuit. And, essentially what the SEC is trying to do here is they're trying to say, hey, look, the arguments that we made that some of the Terraform Labs cryptos were a security, they were held up in court. So they're going to try to, shoot their shot again, the SEC is, and try to, bring those same arguments and claims to other judges against the Coinbases of the world, the Circles of the world, and try to bring them down. The Ripples of the world, Grayscales, try to bring them down on these new arguments that actually held up in court. My guess, and Tim, I want to get your thoughts on it as well, but my guess is that the spot Bitcoin ETF will be passed before any kind of new lawsuits are brought against those entities I just mentioned, but B, they won't hold up because Terraform Labs failed. Grayscale, Ripple, Coinbase has far from failed. SEC is just going to try to continue to make the case that they're issuing securities because they were able to prove that Terraform was issuing securities. Some of their cryptos were securities, which is it's kind of strange that judge even ruled that they were securities. So I'm assured that could potentially be appealed, but I don't know if they'll go that route over at Terraform. I think they're probably just licking their wounds at this point, not interested in taking it to the Supreme Court or appellate courts. Well, Tim, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I mean, I've got the bubbles pulled up here. AKT is doing pretty well today, up 16.9%. But the names we know and love, say, down 10%, ICP down 6%, Aptos down 7%, and Caspa's somewhere in there. It's not really moved on the day too much, down 0.6% this morning. So really, it's a mixed
day. It's like if you had a red day yesterday, you probably have a green one today. Except for say had such a bullish week, it's still coming down from the high.
Yeah.
But a lot of coins kind of middle of the pack right now. Cardano is breaking out of that resistance level we talked about earlier, so that's a good sign right there. Barely, but we are breaking above that level of resistance. Bitcoin still deciding if it wants to break out here more, in the next couple of minutes, or does it want to wait until later tonight? Either way, we will see a bigger move on Bitcoin, I do believe, coming here very, very soon. Even if, when I say big is a kind of relative term. I think we'll see a significant move, either back down closer here towards 42, below 43,000, or potentially a move up above 44. Up above 45. By the way, we just had a new member come in, Crypto AI. Welcome to Silver. Crypto AI. I've seen Crypto AI in here for a while. Borderline and OG. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And we got updates coming next week for all of our members. We're going to be doing a lot more to interact with you guys and continue to grow the community. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot more people become members because they're really seeing the value of this channel. We're live twice a day, every single weekday. 9 a.m. we're live, and I cover the news and a little bit of charts. And also at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're live to kind of digest the day's news, see how it's affect prices, and kind of reset for the next day of trading as well. And then in addition to that, Tim puts out a TA video, kind of trade setups for the day. So it's really awesome, and people are starting to catch on that Investing Bros is one of the fastest growing crypto communities that's out here winning, thriving, getting dubs every single day. And we're going live, and we're not going to stop.
Man, we just got Army Piper gifting 10 memberships. Mr. J gifting 1. Crimson Caravan Company just became a member. Swashbuckling Scallywag, one of the top 10 names of a YouTube handle, just got one as well. Ada Ace, Indie Rock Crypto, Dave Digital, Dave P, Campin' Panda. That's a good one too.
I like that.
Panda with a K. Stardog. All right, dude. Okay, I had to figure that one because all one word. All right, dude. Steve B. And this is a name I think you'll recognize here, Teach Room. Stephen E. Shrum was gifted the membership by Mr. J.
That's right. Stephen E. Shrum, a close friend of mine. In fact, it's my father. So there you go.
I feel like you've known him your whole life.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much to Piper and Mr. J. By the way, guys, and I'm not spoiling it here. I don't think we've announced this yet. We got big news. Us and Piper coming out very, very soon. Some people act like, by the way, we got Piper back on the show here at some point. We have a lot of people. We need to start doing more interviews, get more people on the show. Some people act like Piper and us have a problem. No, we're about to go into some cool details with Piper that I can't tell you about. I can't tell you because we're filing all the details, but look forward to some great stuff. By the way, go follow his YouTube channel as well, the Piper Academy. He's been showing me behind the scenes. He just built his new studio. Piper, have you gone live yet in the new studio?
No, he
with
not.
All the new updates. Okay, so you're still this week. There's probably going to be some really cool stuff over on that channel. But go subscribe to Army Piper as well. Still a bro, even though he has his own channel and he's doing his things. We love Army Piper. He is a bro. We just see that as an extension of the bro community, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love seeing it.
And thank you so much.
Well, let's do this. Let's get the factoid answer of the day,
memberships.
T-Strom.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get the factoid answer and then get back into some Q&A and fun discussion for wrapping up today's Saturday live show.
All right, Tim, let's get the answer to that factor of the day, brought to you by Blowfin. We've got a link to them down in the description so you can get set up with a leverage trading exchange that you can actually use in the United States. Tim, the answer to the question of the day is...
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Rays. Tim gets a dub.
He needed it bad.
He needed it.
I needed that dub bad.
He is a big sports fan, so there you go.
Baseball, not as much. I should watch more baseball.
You can go to Wikipedia, and it's got all the different teams and when they've signed up, so or when they've joined the league. Tampa Bay Rays joined in 1998, and then the one before that would have been the Arizona Diamondbacks. But if you go,
they did. What year? What year were the Diamondbacks? I thought they were older than that.
The Diamondbacks were founded in 1998, so the same year.
The same year. All right. So they, by the skin of their teeth, they win that one. Yeah, I thought the Diamondbacks were an older team than that, but that's interesting. Interesting trivia right there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, and then you can see the oldest ones, or the oldest founding at least. There's a difference between founded and joined, but we don't care that much about MLB to distinguish. The oldest was 1870. And that was the Chicago Cubs, which is kind of crazy. You'd think it'd be more of a West Coast or a East Coast team. I guess the Midwest was the ones wanting to get out there, get after it in the world of MLB. Let us know if you're MLB fans, because we're not. Yeah, we cover that very seldomly. And
I do think I'm going to have to start watching more baseball. I love sports. I played everything growing up. Last time I played on a baseball team, I think I was 12 years old. Did not enjoy it though, because like in soccer, I was always a striker. In basketball, I was a point guard. In football, I was the running back on a team that ran the ball probably 70% of the plays. So I was used to having the ball in my hands and getting to affect the score. In baseball, you really have very little. I was a pitcher, and I was one of the better hitters. But it's like if you had a single, now you have to count on somebody else to do anything, and my team really wasn't that good. So it was too slow for me. But here in this area that we're living, which I love being here in North Georgia, every kid plays baseball here. So I'm thinking Brody more than likely will become a baseball guy. Great route to becoming a quarterback. So I'd love to see Brody, I want to see him play a lot of sports, but he probably will grow up loving and playing a lot of baseball. So I think I'm going to have to get into the sport and start watching it a lot more. Yeah, I see some people say Dave Digital says go Stros. So we know Dave Digital is a cheater. We know I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I know about stuff that happens in baseball. Put your favorite MLB team, if you guys have one, in the chat. Alex O'Crypto, shout out to him. He was just on with T-Shroom yesterday.
That's right.
Saying Toronto Blue Jays are number one.
Yeah, he lives in Toronto now.
Got a Canadian in chat. Wow. There we go. Yeah, put your favorite team in there. Let's go ahead and go back we can do some charts. We can talk more discussion. If you're joining late, you're coming in. It's been a minute since we discussed it. There was breaking news this morning that a wallet associated with Satoshi Nakamoto did have $1.1 million worth of Bitcoin move off Binance and into a private wallet.
It's true.
Is that Satoshi? Was it someone sending it to him? That's a lot of money for someone to just do a prank and send that money to Satoshi's wallet. We discussed that a little bit earlier. Make sure to go back and watch some more. We talked a little about Bitcoin price. We talked about Cardano price. But what do you guys want to talk about now? We are opening up the chat. We got definitely at least 6 minutes. But I told you guys in the beginning, we don't have a hard stop today right at 12 o'clock. If we run 15 minutes long, it's not the end of the world.
Right. Yeah,
what do you guys want to talk about now?
Let us know what you want to talk about. And while you're doing that, I've got an important reminder. Right, because we're entering that zone. The January 8th through January 10th is going to be where we get that decision from the SEC. We're going to get a decision. That is 100% certain. Either it's going to be an acceptance, a declining of the ETF, or it's going to be actually an act of Congress. There's Gary Gensler and the SEC are going to have to go to Congress and say, hey, we want an extension, an unprecedented extension, because this is the final deadline for specifically one of the spot Bitcoin ETFs, the ARK Invest 21 shares ETF application. But you might be asking the question, when are we going to actually know? Because it's a meme to kind of say it's been declined, it's been approved. over on Twitter and on YouTube. It's a meme. So where can you find the truth? You're going to be able to find that over on the sec.gov website. And as you can see here, they don't update this very often. It's only for very important things, like they've appointed someone recently. They talked about a giant $93 million fraud that came out, right? So this will be the website that you want to see the actual truth. And I'm sitting here, I'm refreshing it day after day so that I can absolutely bring you guys the updated kind of crossing the finish line of whatever it is. I think it's a good chance that it'll be accepted, but we shall see. Anyway, don't trust Twitter on this one, guys. Don't trust YouTube. This is, I mean, we'll definitely tell you the truth, but there's going to be all kinds of thumbnails saying crazy stuff because it's funny to do that. It's fun to do that. I've done it myself. But if you're absolutely looking for the 100% truth, it's going to be on sec.gov because they're the ones that are making the decision here on the ETF.
Well, let's see here. We got a couple of coin requests, and a lot of these coins are ones we actually look at a decent amount. Let's kind of go through these. Let's start off with AVAX. Arson246 says, let's look at AVAX. Let's do it. Let's take a look here. Go ahead and share my screen. Again, I told you guys going to be seeing some similar things to what we saw on Cardano with a lot of altcoins. MACD crossing bullish on the hourly chart here just a couple of hours ago. Our LUX Algo oscillator, you guys are going to see money flow starting to move to the upside. We're under a bullish momentum wave. We've had a green dot here more recently. Actually, we just crossed. Well, no, we're about to cross into more bullish territory here with money flow. Sorry. So loving what I'm seeing there. We came down here, bounced off a very strong low here, 91% strong. Again, does that mean there's no chance that this low gets broken? That's not what it means, but this was the low we had back here on the wick on January 3rd. It has continued to hold its support, and more than likely, it's going to continue to hold. And look out for the high level of this whole trend up here towards 43. It's weak. So again, the first thing you want to see happen, though, and with this whole trend, though, we're coming down here. We touched our discount zone. We need to break above the equilibrium. More recently, even though we kind of broke a little of it, we hovered there and then came back down. That's almost a rejection. Let's get a break above the equilibrium to start moving up towards that high, up again at $43 for AVAX. Let's see what the liquidations are looking like for AVAX. Because there's going to be a lot of requests, guys, I'm not going to do crazy in-depth TA. We're kind of going to do drive-bys for everything, but just giving you what I'm overwhelmingly seeing. We're going to look at the hourly chart. Hourly chart, I feel, is a good level to look at for a little bit. There are some liquidations sitting here below us underneath T-Shroom's head, so I got to move. Yeah, okay, there we go. There are some liquidations. Now, these are fresh ones, though. You're going to notice back here, there really weren't a heavy lot of liquidations. I'm going to imagine a lot of people were buying here, and there's a lot of stuff. A lot of people were buying here, crossing below $35. That's the heavy liquidity here. But overwhelmingly, look at where the real heavy liquidity is going to be sitting up at, right here at $39.60 and up here at $44. That's, again, when we're looking to the upside, I'm seeing overwhelmingly saying the next 7 days, look to the upside here as well. Let's look at the month. Let's just even say, because I think the bullishness could be a multi-week time frame. It's kind of mixed here. Again, we could see us get back up to 50, even go a little higher here for liquidations. Definitely have some liquidations up there. We do have some even lower down here. I told you guys yesterday, before I move on, I still believe we're going to see a pullback in crypto, but there were some things that James Seifert, an ETF expert, said yesterday in an interview I did with him on Discover Crypto that makes me believe we might be underappreciating how bullish things could be about to get after an ETF approval. But we're going to keep moving on here because there was other coins people asked about. T-Shirt, any thoughts you have before we move on?
Well, Fade and TradFi asked an interesting question. What happens to the price of Bitcoin if we get back above all-time high from the ETF approval before the halving? You know, does that halving have enough gravitas to bring it to keep it, you know, above that $69,000 per Bitcoin level? Because it's still a ways off. It's not till April 12th, I believe. So let's go. Yeah, really. I want to get your take and jump onto the charts.
So here's what I'll say: if we hit a new all-time high before the halving event, we're already dealing with unprecedented territory. That's like, hey, we got to start rethinking some of the stuff we're doing. Now, I will say, let's take a look at another historical deal. I don't think we're going to blast through 69K. I think we're at least going to hesitate whenever we retouch it, pre-halving or post-halving. Most likely, we'll be rejecting here at the top for a little bit before we finally break through. By the way, Cam Kamal said misleading title. Someone sent 1 million to Satoshi. Well, it's not a misleading title. Go back and watch the beginning of it. We talked about that a little bit earlier. It's breaking news here. But thank you for commenting. We love that you're here. Hopefully you want to subscribe to the channel as well. Let's go back here and look at the history of Bitcoin price action when it hits former highs. All right. We had the high that we set back in December of 17. Look at what happens here. We come back in November of 2020. We do touch that level, and we have a decent little pullback. We actually have two different ones. We wrestled with it. Come on now. Work with me here. We touch the all-time high, and we pull back 16%. We come back up. We touch it again. We pull back not as much as 16, but a good 10% pullback, right? So there was wrestling right there. We didn't just break through it and go nuts. Let's go back before that. Previous all-time high right here. We had it back in December of 13. This one, you kind of get to that same area. Did not quite touch it, but look, as you get close to it, we had a nice little 35% pullback. We come back up. We actually barely get back above it, but then we have another good, decent sized pullback where we pull back about 34%, right? So again, wrestling with former all-time high. Let's go back to the one before that. So let's see. Really, we're looking back here. I will say that's not really as much of a wrestling as we had before right here when we came back up. So mostly we're talking about the last two of them. So if I misspoke, I do apologize. My point here is I'm not expecting for price action to get to 69K and then do this and just keep going. I would be very surprised if we don't see something more along the lines of like a move back up to that all-time high. We kind of touch it, we pull back down, maybe even back down to this 0.887, back in, below 60,000, and then we kind of wrestle with it and we finally make a breakthrough. But if it happens before halving, T-Shroom, again, unprecedented territory. I couldn't tell you how bullish that would be. I'm not predicting it and I'm not expecting it. I still think we're waiting till post-halving, more than likely mid to late summer, before we see 69,000 again. But if we get there before March,
could be crazy.
That's going to be pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Yeah. Let's keep moving on here, though. We did see someone say Caspa. Take a look at Caspa. Let's go back down to the hourly chart. Did not mean to be drawn. Got to redo my tools. Here we go. Thank you very much. Let's get rid of Fibonacci. That's been kind of old. I don't really need that anymore.
Tim, did you ever add Caspa to your HODL bag?
No, I don't have it in my HODL bag. I have it right now in a trade. But I'm going to move it. I'm going to buy levels and get into my HODL portfolio here as well. I need to sign up for, at this point, it's Uphold is the main one people are getting.
Yeah, we've got a link to Uphold in our description. That's one of the best ways to buy some Caspa.
Yeah, I've been focusing a lot more on trading here more recently, because again, my whole thought was we're going to have a pullback. That's what yesterday. After hearing James, I'm like, gosh, do I need to start making a little more moves in my HODL portfolio and getting things in the right position?
But then Arthur Hayes put out his newsletter, and he's extremely reliable in my eyes, and he said a 30% pullback is what he's setting up for. He's setting up for a pretty big short on Bitcoin soon after the approval.
Here's what I'll say. I was too, and I'm still hoping for a decent sized pullback. I am not confident about entering a short on Bitcoin after an ETF approval. Now,
I'm not doing it.
if we get a denial here this next week, like I'm not talking about a delay. I'm talking about like I'm saying they take the advice of that company. I can't remember the name of them. Like what is that?
Better
company?
Markets.
Yeah. Is it Greater Markets?
Better Markets.
Is it Better Market? Okay. If their thing causes Gary Gensler to deny an ETF, then yeah, maybe entering a short's not a bad idea. Better Markets. Okay, yeah. But if we still see an approval, I'm going to hope and wait for a pullback of some kind, but I might not be betting on it with a short position. But anyway, let's go back to Caspa. We have a couple other coins people want us to take a look at here as well. We're not going to be able to take a look at all of them. I see people coming in here. ICP, people are asking for others. I saw someone ask earlier from Link. We'll try to get through as many as possible, but I don't think we're going to be able to get everyone's request. So make sure you guys subscribe. I tell you guys also, our members, our gold members for now at least, if you guys are gold members and you go into our Discord and you say, Tim, can you take a look at blah, blah, blah? You tell me whatever you want to look at. I might take me an hour or two to get to it, but I'm trying to get a hold. And like, if you guys are asking me on a gold member saying, hey, Tim, can you look at this coin? I'm not even just going and looking at charts and typing something to you. I'm usually creating videos, short little videos telling you what I think about that coin. So if you want more of my thoughts, join the membership. Could be really cool. But back
You're
over
teasing
to
the heck out of them with this Caspa chart, Tim. Get into it. Get into it.
Now that we've taken a look at the Caspa chart, let's go ahead and take a look. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we're kind of in a boring spot here where we broke out of a falling wedge-esque. It's kind of more of a channel here because we only had 2 touches and not really that big of a this wasn't a very strong formation. We broke above it, came back down just as I said we would, and retested this resistance line of support. But then we're now kind of setting, let's even change this formation right here. We're kind of setting a little bit of a channel here where, now this former resistance line is a support level. We have a descending level of resistance. I want to see this kind of change. I want to see us break above this yellow line for bullishness, but who knows? At this point, Caspa has had its real explosiveness stuff happen. Let's take a look here. This is something that, again, similar to Cardano, we were overextended. The money flow was below this trend line. We had an excessive number of sellers. Now, the difference is, and let's take a look here, make sure Cardano price didn't change on me. No, Cardano's still kind of where we said. The oscillator itself there on the hourly chart has reversed, and we just got a negative momentum. So a seller's momentum with that little gray dot right there. We are back. The money flow is now sideways above that trend line, but conflicting stuff. I'll tell you this right now, not necessarily overwhelmingly bullish or bearish right now on Caspa. When I'm taking a look at the oscillators, RSI sitting there at the midline moving sideways. MACD, let's see. We did cross bullish, but now you're seeing lighter green histograms coming in here. Caspa's not looking as strong of a move right now as we're seeing some other altcoins look like here on the hourly chart. Let's take a look here at some other things here. Yeah, our support level it's low. Now it's about 50-50. It's at 47. It's not overwhelmingly weak, but it's not striking a lot of strong support here either. So Caspa not sitting in the confidence section that I would put a lot of other altcoins in. For example, the link chart. Someone just asked for the link chart. I think I was looking at the link earlier, and it's one that I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Let's take a look. Let's zoom in here. Now, we are still below here. I guess I need to wait. I want to see this get back up. The oscillator itself is flowing up. We had our green reversal triangle, green momentum dot, but you do still see the sellers, the money flow. So we don't see having excessive sellers, but we see the money flow technically still moving sideways / down, but below that trend. So let's fix that. Let's get some of the money flow back to the upside here. But what I like seeing, we have a positive MACD cross here with the MACD still moving up. RSI is trading sideways right now. But I'm going to imagine here, bullish divergence for sure. Candle body closes are lower. RSI is higher with this bottom. So we have our bullish divergence. I like what I see there. We bounced off of this now. Only 53 on that strong support. Yeah. Actually, Link, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Link, not as necessarily strong as what I'm seeing on Cardano. This is why I told you guys to make sure to look at all of them, but Link is not necessarily as strong. I do think it's going to do well here. Let's take a look at liquidations here with Link and see what we have going on below us and above us. Let's go to 12 hours to start it off. We do. Okay. Yeah, here we go. A lot of the other ones, we didn't see heavy yellow here on the 12-hour. We're seeing heavy yellow, meaning there's a lot of liquidations on the market because we didn't clear them out here. And this started turning yellow all the way back here. We could see that price go all the way back down to 13. Now, there's some above us as well. So if we start moving to the upside, look for $14. Let's take a look at the 7-day. This is a mixed one. This is one that, again, what I don't like, but the fact that I don't like how the oscillators are not overwhelmingly bullish, and the fact that we have some heavy liquidity below us, I like a move to the upside still. I still like a good move for Link. However, guys, this is not necessarily something to it couldn't happen here. This isn't something that would be out of the ordinary. What if we make one more move here to the downside and come back down close to 13, if not a little below it? Maybe get some strong bullish divergence there, a third touch, and then we make our case to come back up here towards 17. I just deleted what I had there, so my bad, guys. Got to move here, and then a lot of volatility. But back up here to 17. I like still a move back up towards 17. I just don't like how we're not seeing the overwhelming amount of bullishness right now. Let's just check in. Let's make sure I'm not just off my rocker. Let's make sure it's Cardano. Yeah, Cardano's still trending in the right direction, even though we just got a little red dot right there. So keep an eye on that one. But I still like the triple bullish touch here. I like the fact that the money flow is above that trend line. And again, I showed you some other things here as well, even the liquidations. Let's check in on its liquidations just to be safe here. You gotta keep surveying these things because they do update, they do change. Let's see. Yeah, still. Now, that's the 7-day, though. Let's take the 12-hour. Do we have heavy liquidations below us? Did something change during the show? No, not really. No strong yellow. Most of the heavier liquidations are above us. So still like Cardano better than I like Link at this point. I liked AVAX as well. But yeah, Caspa and Link, maybe not as much. Let's see. What time do we have? 12:09. Let's do one more, T-Shroom, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Did you see, before I do any charts,
I've actually
did you
got
see any other questions?
Yeah, I've got some alpha to bring to the bros this morning really quick, just as we were kind of I was kind of watching what you were doing. I've got two names here that are actually in a buy. So here's a little preface. So we are good friends with Crypto Archie and Crypto Seth, who are small cap gem hunters, right? We are not really gem hunters, Tim and I, but we do kind of dabble. At least I do. These are two names that are actually good buys, because sometimes you'll hear about these gems, right? But they're like at all-time highs, and it's like you don't really want to buy if there's an investor or a trader, you don't want to buy these names at all-time high. Where Nakamoto Games is actually at a pretty decent low right now. It's from its highs, it's down 32%. Now you might be saying, but T-Shroom, why would you buy something that's down 32%? Because I own these for the long term. I'm probably not going to sell these until mid 2025, right? It's also at some nice support here from this high back in November. So that's one. Now, Nakamoto Labs is a $121 million market cap, so it's pretty small. That's actually very, very small. But I've got another one that's even smaller, and that's Lit Labs. Lit Labs is another very small cap, and it is it's only 9.5 million market cap. So again, these are very, very small. Tim just went through the Cardanos and the chain links, which are in the 9 billion market cap, so way, way different types of coin. These are these ones that I'm talking about come with much more risk, but much more reward. See, that's important to remember. So Lit Labs also kind of coming in at a low. It is probably around 30% to the downside, 48% to the downside. So these have a lot more volatility, guys. It's definitely something to keep in mind. This is the full list of some of the micro caps that I like to keep an eye on. And you'll notice Tectum is actually the one that's up today, 9%. So that's one to keep an eye on for a pullback. This is one of Crypto Seth's picks. Very, very bullish. So guys, definitely keep in mind. This is another one that I picked up. This is on the Solana network, OTK, and it's up today. So anyway, not financial advice, guys. Those are much more risky names there, but I thought I'd bring them to you because we've got a lot of people watching, and there's a decent amount of alpha to be made there from those coins. So Tim, we can flip it over to you. Do you had one more coin you wanted to look into?
I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a day for today. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. That was a good way to kind of end that there. And here's the thing, guys. We're gonna continue to have these Saturday shows from time to time. I don't think we're gonna be able to do every single Saturday, but clearly the demand is still here. People want to see Saturday shows. But make sure again you are subscribed to the channel. I'm looking at it right now, T-Shroom. I think during this live stream, we've gained, I want to say 40 subs, which is great. We need to gain more. There's a decent chance though that we could be. We're about 150 subscribers away from 7,000 subscribers. We could be seeing a giveaway announced on Monday if the subs keep coming in. You guys can do it. I'm sure there's still at least a good 50 of you who are not subscribed to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button. Even if you don't win, help somebody else win $100 and find yourself a good channel to subscribe to. Make sure you guys are tuning in every single weekday. Again, we have 2 lives, as T-Shroom said, every single Monday through Friday. 9 a.m., we got news. 3 p.m., we kind of break down the charts and the news of the day and relax with you guys. We also have videos coming out early in the mornings, about 8:30 every single morning, with my thoughts on what I'm seeing in the biggest stories, either in Bitcoin or Cardano or other big altcoins. Make sure you guys subscribe, though, so that you see all those notifications. With that said, though, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Saturday and a weekend, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news, got your word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.